Well said.
All right. Now we're down to 10 minutes of the show. And the last question, I had this list of questions, and we are on the last one. Now, I kind of wish POS, and I really wish Unoriginal Bias, we would have been able to hear you, man. It would have been nice to have you on the show. And this is almost a form of Pastor's Wager. But the question is, what happens if when you die, you're wrong about God? I.e., Christ was the truth, or God does not exist.
I'll take this.
I'll go real quick. Oh, go ahead, Sven. Go ahead, Sven. I'll let you go because we only have 9 minutes. But let me know if you guys.
It depends which God you're talking about, I suppose. But what happens if you're wrong and it's the Islam God? I mean, I could turn that right back around and throw it straight back at you. There's 1,000 religions out, I'm sure.
Right. History and archaeology verify that all the religions of the world came from a single source. Otherwise, man could not invent all these pantheons of gods to be exactly the same characters with the same toys and do the same thing.
What about Scientology?
And the Bible gives us the answer, the key to where those religions came from. And it's from the angels God threw out of heaven.
I'll answer, D-Man.
Hold on. The actual question is, what happens if when you die, you're wrong about God? I.e., Christ was the truth, or God does not exist. We're not bringing Islam, Hindu, Buddhism, or Christianity.
Why not? Why?
I'll go ahead and answer the question. Let me answer the question, then you guys can answer the way you want. Here's the answer. The question was Pascal's wager.
Yes.
Go ahead, D-Man. I'm sorry, brother.
And I said this was a form of Pascal's wager. The reason why is because I'm asking the question. There is only Christians and atheists on the show. We're not going to answer a question with a question. Just the fact of this is the final question of the show. Christians also have to answer this very same question. If God does not exist, what happens when they die? Or if you, as an atheist, die, what happens if you die and find out that Christ is real and he was the truth?
Okay, I'm going to take it. This is Shock. Excellent question. And the fact of the matter is atheists are terrified of Pascal's wager because it makes logical sense. We all know the answer, you guys. Let's not kid one another. The answer is Pascal's wager basically says, look, let's say the Christians are wrong. If the Christians are wrong, the atheists and the Christians end up the same place as worm food. Atheists don't believe in heaven or hell. However, if the atheists are wrong, atheists end up in hell and Christians end up in heaven. This is why Pascal's wager causes the grinding of teeth for atheists because they don't like that. So that's my opinion on Pascal's wager, but we all know that. I had a video real quick on Pascal's wager on my channel, and not one atheist would confront that question. They brought up Islam and all this other stuff. They would avoid the question. For once, I've never actually heard an answer from an atheist on Pascal's wager, what happens, like D-Man put it. Maybe this will be the first time in history that we've ever heard an answer, but that's the answer that I give, and I pass the mic on to whoever wants it.
Evan, what happens if you die and God does not exist?
Well, then you cease to exist, and then nothing. It's just nothingness. That's what it would be.
Johnny?
I think Shock had the best idea. If when people pass on, if there's nothing beyond the grave, then there's no difference between believers and non-believers. But if there is an eternity to look forward to, why miss the chance out on trying to get to it?
Sven, you're the last one for the answer on this question.
Well, I really like how you take out the whole Islam argument. I mean, 20% of the world believe in some form of Christianity. I think it's about 18% of the world are Muslim, or maybe the other way around. Whatever. What if you're wrong? 20% of the world are following Muslim.
Now, the question is, there's a reason why I formed the question that way, because I've seen too many atheists that will bounce back and say, well, what if you're wrong? Now, the Christians have already answered on the show, what if we are wrong? And in the form of the question itself, that Christ would be the true way, and you find out that is on after death, what happens?
Well, according to you, I'll burn in hell. But if that does happen and I'll get there, I'll have a thing or two to say to Jesus and God. I'll certainly have a bone to pick with both of them.
All right.
But they're not in hell, Sven.
Well,
they're in heaven.
I've never seen them.
But if we go by it, he would have his chance to bring up his case to God himself on the day of judgment. All right, guys, we are at 5 minutes left in the show. I want everybody on this broadcast right now to go ahead and tell what their channel is on YouTube.
Go ahead, Sven. If you want to, because Sven's got some awesome motorcycle videos. Hey, Sven, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
If I got you out here on some of the freeways I drove on, you'd be with your British accent. Oh my God, Shock! Now I know why you believe in God. This is madness out here on these freeways. You'll be like, praise Jesus Christ! I tell you. Go ahead.
Well, my YouTube channel's nothing to do with religion. I make some silly motorcycle videos. Some of them are quite humorous. I would say that, I guess, but. Yeah, it's youtube.com/Svengalie.
And you spell that out. All right, SVENGALIE.
You got it.
All right, Shock?
www.shockforever.com.
Spell it.
That's mine. Oh, SHOCKFOREVER.com. Also, if I get attacked with false flagging, remember, you could always find me at shockonl.com and shockonl.net.
Okay,
so I got bulletproof. I got 3 of them.
Okay, Evan.
My user channel is Nephilim Free. It's NEPHILIMFREE.
Okay, Johnny.
Yeah, my channel is Aesop's Truth.
Okay. I wish POS was still in the room. I plugged his channel right quick, but I'm not sure what channel it is. For me, mine is www.dmanforchrist.com. That's DMANN4CHRIST. All right, guys, I'm ending the show now. I'd like to thank Svengalie, Shock on Now, Johnny, and Nephilim Free for joining us on the show. I'd like to just thank everybody for joining in the chat room. And I will see you on the next show. And I think this actually went rather well. We didn't really talk over each other, and everybody got a chance to give their answers. Thanks a lot. God bless.
Atheism is the wedge under the foundation of our faith, trying to topple our relationship with Christ. When the fool said in his heart there is no God, he rejects the truth God painted on the canvas of the night. Atheism has never created an artistic masterpiece, never healed a fatal disease or calmed the fear. Atheism has never still given answers to our existence, peace to a troubled mind, or even dried a tear. For it's God who created heaven and earth and flung the stars in space and breathed in a handful of dirt and became a man. It's God who sits on the circle of the earth and measures the mountains in a scale and holds the 7 seas in the palm of his hand. It's God who sent his only begotten Son to the cross of Calvary to save our souls from hell and the grave. It's God who creates, God who delivers, God who heals, and God who is worthy of a thunderous ovation of praise.
When the trumpet sounds, the earth will shake, the trembling bow before your face.
All right, guys, on the closing, just remember, when it comes to faith, faith is the evidence of things unseen.